You're welcome to my YouTube channel. This is a channel that teaches on research methodology, making it easy. Research methodology made easy. From the screen, you could see it here. And all we do here, or basically, perhaps let me personalize it. All I do here is to teach you how to carry out research work the easiest way possible. Even to a novice, you've not heard of research before, through my coaching, through my teachings, you will know how to carry out research. And it's very simple. I'm not going to dwell in all the nitty-gritties that are involved in just one video. In this very video, I am concentrating on how to carry out research, knowing your research objectives. How do you determine your research objectives? That's just all about it. How do you determine your research objectives? And you will know today how to do it using a mathematical formula. It is not by the rule of the tongue. It is not just the way you want. It's not how you want it. So that if any person picks up your research work from the onset, by the time he looks out some basic instrument like that of conceptual framework structure, they will know that, oh, this researcher has this number of research objectives. And so that is what we are looking at today. By the way, I am Dr. Abel Simeon. I am the managing director of Amom Consulting Limited. I'm also the doctoral research fellow for the Corporate Institute of Strategic Research. I'm also the director of strategic planning and research for the Institute of Professional Industrialist Development Management. In this business of research, empirical research work, I have over 29 years experience. And so I will be able to give you at fingertip what to do and you achieve what you want. Just follow the teaching step by step. This very video, it is for knowing the number of research methodology using mathematical formula. If you like this video, please just share it and like it. Let's go. One thing I will have to say here is I have some technical issues. I will not be able to use the slideshow. The slideshow, by the time I go it, I click on the slideshow, it on its own automatically begins to present itself away from what I programmed it. So I will use this very platform I'm using, the very way I'm using here, just sit back and enjoy it. So determination of research objective through a mathematical formula is what we're looking at today. But first and foremost, you need to understand what conceptual framework is, because it's through that conceptual framework, you would be able to get the total number of research objectives. And what is this conceptual framework? It is a framework. It is basically the first thing you want to understand is conceptual framework is a rebut of the understanding of the research problem. Research problem here, I mean research topic. What your topic is, that is a research problem. And when you have a topic, you need to look out keywords there. For instance, I have this, which is profit sharing and worker efficiency in the oil and gas sector in Rivers State, Nigeria. So what are the keywords there? Profit sharing and worker efficiency. These two keywords are very important. One should be depending on the other. The one that impacts on the other is the independent variable, while the one that is impacted upon is the efficiency, is the dependent variable rather. In this case, it is worker efficiency. Because when you share the profit, workers will want to do more. They want to increase their efficiency. They want to love the company more, and they put in all their effort. So the work efficiency becomes a dependent variable upon the profit sharing, which is the independent variable. The next thing you need to look at is, and by the way, this independent variable and the dependent variables are what I refer to as intrinsic variables. Intrinsic variable in the sense that they are all, they are just extrapolated from the topic. When you see the topic as it is here, profit sharing and work efficiency in oil and gas sector university, immediately you can pick it. So it is on the topic itself. So intrinsic variable. What do you do next? Look for the indicators of the independent variables and the dependent variable, either the independent variable and the dependent variable. Look for the indicators. Indicators are things that tend to make you understand what the variable is when you see them. They're called indicators. And they have 5-7 ways of looking for the indicators. You can first of all look at the definition. You open a dictionary or you go to the search engine of Google and then type in that variable as the definition. You say define the variable. Once you type in the variable, in this sense, say profit sharing. Whatever comes out there, the keywords there are the indicators. That is by means of definition. You can get the indicators by looking for the advantages. You can look for it by get the indicators by looking for the disadvantages, or you can look for the types. You can look for the types. You can look for the characteristics. You can look for the uses. You can look for the functions. You can look for another way. You can just also, aside from the function, you can just look for the type. I said there are 7 of them all the whole. One, what is the definition? You can, once you define them, those keywords will give you the indicators. 2, the advantages. 3, the disadvantages. 4, the types. 5, talk about the functions. 6, talk about the components. Then the number 7, talk about the uses. Now, these are the ways with which you can get the indicators. And they are not rocket science. Go to Google search engine, you type it in, you see them. The next is looking out for the moderating variable. The moderating variable is any variable that tends to support the relationship between the independent and the dependent variable. These are moderating variables. Conversely, if the variable tend to discourage the relationship between the independent and dependent variable, it is called suppressor variable. So you look out for the suppressor variable and you look out for the independent variable, the moderating variable. Within that conceptual framework structure. So these are what make up the conceptual framework. So by the time you do this, you are getting an idea of how many research objectives, how many research objectives you may find in that very study. Of course, there are 4 things you should note concerning a research topic. When you give the topic, there are 4 things you should say. 1, you look at the dependent variable, you get that. The independent variable, you get it there. You also get the unit scope. Unit scope is what you are studying. And then you also get the geographical scope. Where are you carrying out that study? In this sense here, in this case here, this profit sharing and work efficiency. By the way, this was my PhD thesis. And in this study, profit sharing and work efficiency in oil and gas sector. So oil and gas companies are my unit scope. So I'm looking at companies that are in that business of oil and gas. Then Nigeria, or better still River State, is my geographical scope. So having given you the idea of what that is, what the conceptual framework is, I want to tell you now, go straight to the point of the formula. The formula of arriving at the research objectives are One, look for the dimensions of the independent variable. Now, perhaps what I did not tell you properly is when you get the indicators, that is the indicators of dependent and independent variable, the indicators for the dependent variable is what we refer to as dimensions, while the indicators for the dependent variables are what we refer to as measures. So the measure and dimension. Dimensions are for the independent variable, the indicators of the independent variable, while the measures are for the indicators for the dependent variable. So let's go back. So let's go ahead, rather. So the number of dimensions multiplied by the independent variable on its own, the independent variable, you add the result to the number of moderating variables. Whatever you get, you add it up to the number of suppressor variables. Don't forget that you need to take the dimension, the number of dimensions, multiplied by 1, which is the independent variable, plus the number of dependent variable, moderating variable, plus the suppressor variable. This will give you the total number of objectives. Now, let me just go ahead and tell you one more thing. Now, look at it here. Look at the illustration here. Profit sharing is my independent variable. So how many dimensions do you have here? 4. And I'm using, I told you there are 7 ways of knowing the indicators. The indicators could be 7 ways. And this one is one of the ways of getting the indicators is the types. And so this is the type of my independent variable, which is profit sharing. So we have current distribution profit sharing plan. We have employee distribution profit sharing plan. We have deferred distribution profit sharing plan. And we have registered pension profit sharing plan. These are types of profit sharing. So that is my dimension, or these are the indicators of the independent variable. So how many are they? There are 4. That is 4. 4 multiplied by just the dependent variable, which is 1, it gives you 4. 4 times 1 is 4. So each time you want to know the total number of research variables, take the dimensions of the independent variable, multiply it by the dependent variable, which is 1. Then add it up. In this case now, I have 3 moderating variables: workers' need, company size, and company policy. Add them up to the 4, you get 7. On the other side, you add it up to what the indicators, or better say the number of intervening variable or suppressor variable. What do you get there? You get 7 plus 2, 9. So 3 of the moderating variables plus 4, which we had earlier, and then you add it to 2, which is the number of suppressor variable, is equal to 9. So the 9 is the total number of your objectives. Total number of objectives are 9. So please have that in mind. I know you may, by the time you sit down and go through it over and over, you see that is very simple. So let me cap it up. For you to know the total number of research objectives, you need to multiply the research, profit, dependent, the dimensions of your independent variables. You multiply it by the dependent variable, which is 1, and then add the moderating variables to 8, and then whatever you get, add the suppressor variable to it, and then you get your total number of research objectives. Now, if I want to reduce my 4 dimensions here, I reduce it to 2. So 2 times 1 is 2, plus 3 is 5, plus 2 is 7. So that will give me 7 objectives. If I say, no, I want to get only 1 moderating variable and 1 suppressor variable, and then 2 dimensions. So 2 times 1, 2, plus 1, 3, plus 1, 4. So that will give me 4 research objectives. So this is how you arrive at your research objectives mathematically. So I want to say thank you for listening. This video continues, but not this particular topic. The next one I will have to discuss on how to arrive at the research hypothesis. Research hypothesis that has a slightly different formula. So I want to say thank you for your patronage. Please share if you know you like it. Like it if you just press the like button and then share this video. And then, of course, when you do that, I subscribe. So that when I have any video, you'll be one of the first to know about it. Thank you so much. If you have any question, please, if you have any question to ask, do not hesitate to send those such questions to my WhatsApp number, which is 1+1 505 2324 6646. That is my WhatsApp number. Once again, I am Dr. Abel Simeon. I am the Managing Director of Amom Consulting Limited. I am also a doctoral research fellow for the Corporate Institute of Strategic Study, the Corporate Institute of Strategic Research. I'm also the Director of Strategic Planning and Research for the Institute of Professional Industrialist Management Development. Thank you so very much. See you in the next video.